What's the reaction from the EU about the delay in the start to these potential delay, that's the important word, to the delay of Brexit negotiations?
You know, Manus, initially we thought this EU summit was going to be the big start of the Brexit negotiations with Theresa May triggering Article 50, but with the challenges she is facing with Parliament back home, this might just be an EU summit with business as usual here in Brussels. According to two British officials and one EU diplomat, the triggering of Article 50 might not happen until after the Rome summit on March 25, which is supposed to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Treaty of Rome. So the first item of the agenda today in Brussels will be the re-election of the EU Council President, Donald Tusk. He is likely to be re-elected for another mandate of 2.5 years, starting in June. He's got the support of many EU leaders, including Theresa May and Angela Merkel. Last night, Donald Tusk actually held a conference with the rotating president, the Maltese Prime Minister. They both said that once Brexit has been triggered, the EU will react very quickly. Within 48 hours, they will have draft guidelines for the 27, and then they will probably hold another extraordinary summit in April. I spoke with Donald Tusk last night, and I asked him what kind of impact these delays could have on the Brexit negotiations.
I still hope that it is possible to trigger the Article 50 earlier than the end of March. But of course, it's not our decision. We have to wait, and we have to be well prepared if our British colleagues are ready with triggering. And I can just repeat my personal assessment. We are well prepared, and our reaction after this formal notification will be fast and responsible.
And today in Brussels, we also expect the ECB President, Mario Draghi, to brief his colleagues on the future of the Eurozone economy. And then Theresa May will participate in discussions on migration and defense spending. As you know, the UK is one of the only 5 countries to respect the 2% of GDP target as settled by NATO for defense spending. And some say that the UK might actually use this military might as leverage in the Brexit negotiations.
Caroline, trade also going to be a focus of the conversations there. What do you expect?
So we had a draft of the summit conclusions, and the EU leaders are expected to highlight the central role for WTO in future trade agreements. As you know, the EU leaders have been pretty vocal against the protectionist stance of the US President Donald Trump. We had, for example, the Commission Vice President Connan telling Bloomberg this week that the protectionist policy of Donald Trump might actually be as much an opportunity as a threat to the EU, because the EU may build on the successful trade agreement with Canada to improve other trade relationships with Latin America, including Mexico, with Asia, including the completion of 4 years of discussions with Japan, and also the Middle East. So, of course, with all these threats coming from outside and inside the EU, with the rise of populism, we expect the EU to have a strong view today with a statement on how they can retain their role as a trade superpower.